Welcome back to the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods. So we had a pretty good storm that came through southern Indiana a little while back, and this is the first time we got a chance to go through the 100 acres and get stuff cleaned up. Not a whole lot of damage or stuff down, just kind of some little stuff here or there that ended up across the path. Now there's large sections of the woods that obviously we can't get to very readily, so there could be more trees that are down than we realize. But just in the sections that we can get to, we had about half a dozen trees that the tops had broken out of, or had limbs, fair-sized limbs break out of it. So kind of initially had a little bit of a tree there that had broken out of and collected another tree, and a lot of the area here is just kind of little limbs and sticks that had to get picked up. So mainly this is just kind of a tour of the path around. On this back part we had quite a few sassafrasses that ended up breaking apart, so we got those cut up along with a ash that all of those are dead around here, so it finally broke off just from being dead. So we got that taken care of. Now heading back down the south trail. It's been a while since I've had any video back here. It's not a trail that we use all the time, but it's nice to have access around this part of the property. Again, nothing too major. Mainly just kind of small stuff that we had to get taken care of. The second part of this video is actually at a friend's farm who got hit a lot harder by the storms. He had a dozen or so trees go down. He had worked on it a little bit prior to us getting there, and then we helped get some of the bigger stuff off his fence. So this is going over to the Pendill farms and helping him. So we took the 62 over there along with the otter. And like I said, he has some cows that he's running and needs to get them in these fields. Luckily they weren't there now, but has some damage to his fences with several trees on there. He's got some farm tractors and stuff that doesn't have a grapple, so with the grapple and the backhoe, able to kind of get that stuff picked up without damaging his fence anymore. There's a couple of pretty good spots here where we have some fair-sized trees that came down. So he has a chicken coop that he wants to try to rebuild. So any lumber that we can save from the storm, we try to do so, and we'll mill it up and use it for his chicken coop. A lot of these tops just getting set in the field for now. We'll probably come back through and maybe do a little bit of cleanup. And there's a couple of areas we didn't get to, but this is one of the first big logs. Just kind of set it to the side. We're talking about taking the otter and the log trailer over there to be able to get those out of the woods, or get those out of the fields. If we go when it's dry enough, we may be able to just take the entire trailer back into the field. So this is probably one of the biggest ones that was directly on the fence. So use the backhoe, get that stump to push over whenever we cut it, and then using the 62 to move this piece over so we can retrieve it later. Ran out of battery on the camera here, but basically get that cut through, get it off, set it to the side. So here, looking at another path that he has, it goes across the creek, has some trees down back here, and really just wants to be able to get across that. So there's a sycamore there. So get it cut into a couple pieces, and grapple out what we can. And then the treetop is kind of on the back side of his dam, so we want to get that off of there. So once we get these two pieces out, go ahead and back in there with a choker and pull out the top of this tree. And again, just getting stuff out into the field so that it can be broken down and then we can get to it later. Here on the right hand side, there's quite a bit of stuff that was down, we checked out. We'll investigate that later. It's not directly on his fence right now, so not super concerned about it. Next area we're going to is kind of back around the back corner of his farm. It's where he has a pump set up to pump water from the creek that we're crossing here and pumping it into a pond he has back there. The pond doesn't have a lot of runoff, so it's not quick to fill, so utilizing that creek water to get that filled up. So had some stuff across the creek there, kind of got it out of the way. And then start going back into the woods where the pump is and have to do a little bit of clearing to get back to it. And there's a little bit of a sinkhole, so I have to kind of dump some dirt in there, get it spread out before I can get in there and drive through, because they cut up the brush and really just working on getting to that to get it drug out of there. So you can see some of the work that he'd done previously that day. So the next thing, he had some stuff down from a previous storm that was going to end up on his fence. So while the fence has already been smashed from this storm, wanted to get this big piece of a oak tree out. So it's kind of hung up in a couple other trees. So clean out as much of the underbrush as possible, and then get back in there and try to pull the top of the tree out. See, most of this stuff is dead because it's been down a while, but it's a good opportunity to do this because eventually it's going to end up on his fence. So able to get a little bit pulled out, but with kind of how it's angled, it kind of got stuck. So have Dad in the grapple there. Another do not try this at home, but it's actually safer to cut it from above like this to get a notch in it and drive a wedge in and then let the tree fall below. So with that down, I can get that on the ground using the backhoe and the thumb. Get some of the brush out of the way from the top. And then lastly is just head it out. Have one more thing that's a cherry tree that broke off that is on his fence, so got that off. And able to help him kind of get this field cleaned up a little bit. Have a little bit more cleanup to do after this, but has his fence to where it can be repaired and keep his cows in. So we have some more work to do over here and picking up some logs in that other field, but we'll have more of that later. So thank you for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.